23rd day of December 2024. I almost said 2025 because I'm in a hurry. But we're going to be talking, I did tell you that we're going to be talking more about Dele Farotimi's situation and being in custody even after he's been granted bail. But let me give you some background before I introduce my guest in the studio. My guest is obviously what we would consider a big fish. We're very excited that he's here with us in the studio. But let me just tell you, over the past few days, Afenifere Group has been dissatisfied with the proceedings that led to the arrest of human rights lawyer Dele Farotimi, who was charged with alleged criminal libelous representations of legal luminary Afe Babalola in his book, Nigeria and its Criminal Justice System. Now, Mr. Farotimi was detained in Lagos, as we all know, on December 3rd and charged in Ekiti State, where he is now being incarcerated. The Federal High Court ordered him to pay 50 million naira to have his bail plea granted. However, the Ekiti State Magistrates Court put aside that, stating that he remains in jail for cyber stalking. And joining me in the studio this evening to discuss further this issue is a chief, and he is the deputy leader of Afenifere, His Royal Highness Oba Oladipo Olaitan. Thank you so much, Your Highness, for joining us in the studio. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you so much.
Your Highness, you'd lean forward a bit so we can hear you. Perfect.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening. So good to have you join us in the studio. Now, we hear that Afenifere has obviously faltered the way and manner this whole issue has been handled, whether by the courts, whether by the Afe Babalola and his legal team. What exactly is it that makes you feel that this has not been properly handled?
Thank you so much. What is perplexing, difficult to understand, is the manner. We're not into the merits or demerits of the allegations, whatever you call it.
Mm-hmm.
But the manner in which it's being carried out is preposterous. When you accuse a person of a misdemeanor, misdemeanor is an offense less than 2 years in prison, maximum.
Mm-hmm.
And then you make that allegation. Of course, the defendant is presumed innocent
Until proven guilty, yeah.
Even with that, you come and you abduct him from his office, drive him through the night, all night, through the night, and we'll know what Nigerian roads are, all the way from Lagos to Ekiti. Maybe we will have gotten to Ekiti, maybe early in the morning or something like that would be. Put him in jail, first in the morning, handcuff him. 25-year person it was quoted about 25 years ago. It's not a small fish in the profession. And you straight to court like that. And at the court, well, the lawyers came up. Some lawyers came up and they were not even allowed to talk. I do know that in matters like that, even if lawyers come to assist you, they can only be seen and not be heard. But at least they will be seen. Mm-hmm. At least the magistrate will know that this is not just anybody you pick on the street. And then you make oral application for bail. It's normal for misdemeanor, slander, defamation, misdemeanor. So the lawyer made an application for bail, and the magistrate said, no, you have to put that application in writing. What? Application in writing for bail for misdemeanor? Well, the judge's word is final. So we had to, as law-abiding citizens, we complied. And then I adjourned the case for something like 10 days. So he was deliberately kept in incarceration for 10 days. Again, when he was being abducted from his office in Lagos, they seized all his phones. The lawyers working in chambers have all their phones also seized. Secretary, what could that mean? What's the difference between this and kidnapper coming? I can't find any difference. A kidnapper will come to you too, just take you, deprive you of communication. That's the first thing they do, because they don't want anybody to know that they've taken you. Just like a typical kidnapper will behave. That's exactly what they did. And they drove him, like I said, all the way to Ekiti. They refused bail because according to the magistrate, it has to be made in writing. They adjourned it for another 10 days. Okay, right? When we now went again with a written application for bail, he refused to take it. Magistrate refused to take it. Why? Oh, well, I'm going to look at the application. Application with maximum 1 page, 2 pages. By the way, I should explain here that I'm 50 years plus myself, old at the bar.
I was about to ask that. Do you know too much about the profession? Are you a lawyer?
Here's my job.
Lovely. So you're in a better position to address this, because it's a fight between two lawyers, whether we like it or not.
I'm 50 years plus at the bar. So I know what I'm talking about. The magistrate refused to even read the application. And then he adjourned it again for another 10 days. What is typical about this adjournment, and I want you to note it, and we lawyers are familiar with this. When a matter is adjourned to a particular day in a week, a lawyer knows what's about to happen. If you adjourn a case to a Monday of the week, for example, a typical lawyer knows that that case will not be heard that day. The judge or the magistrate will sift through all the cases that he has to deal with that week, use Monday to do that. Whatever case he wants to attend to that day will be stepped down. And the others will just take gate. You tell the clerk to take dates. Take gates. Then the one he wants to deal with is what it is. It's only the clerk, as a matter of fact, that attends to lawyers for the other cases. Once our cases are adjourned to a Friday, then the soup. That means again that case will not be heard. Because we are in this country together. With tremendous respect to our brothers who are Muslims, they go for prayer in the afternoon. Who says the judge magistrate is not a Muslim? How do we know? So, Nigerians generally have half day on Fridays. Even bankers, you know what they wear on Fridays. That's it. That's Nigeria for you. That's us. Nothing to worry about. If you go to Francophone countries, for example, they have siesta in the afternoon. It's no problem. But we know this. When your cases are adjourned, a criminal matter for that matter adjourned to Friday, know that you are going to jail. And of course you are right. Of course, they took him back again.
So let's talk about what's happened now, because reports is that, in fact, everybody was excited on Friday when they heard that he was offered bail, but then the bail conditions were the issues that raised eyebrows. Let's talk about that before we go into the reason why he's still in custody as we speak.
Well, they were clever by half. I think they realized that they were holding the wrong end of the stick. Why? Because defamation is not a criminal offense in the Ekiti State.
Really?
It isn't.
But because I know that in Lagos is also not a case. Yes. But we thought that why he was taken to Ekiti, maybe there was this.
It's not a criminal offense in Ekiti. So really, the magistrate should have refused sitting on that matter. But as it were, defamation is not a criminal offense in Ekiti. They quickly went to the High Court and slammed another charge on him. They call that cyber stalking.
Cyberbullying. Cyber stalking. Okay.
Right? So the two rushed him again while he was in jail. They rushed him again to their court and slammed another charge on him. And they granted him bail 50 million. 50 million bail. The surety must have landed property in Ekiti State. He must be resident in Ekiti State. He must, all sorts of impossible conditions are put on that. Don't forget that he still come back to Magistrate Court. So when he came to Magistrate Court again, finally now, they now say, okay, now, all right, we will grant you bail. And then they gave him another bail, two shorties, 30 million. Another one, for the same person, more or less.
I want to put you on the spot. Thank goodness you are a legal luminary, so it's a great time to put you on the spot. Looking at the book, and I know so many people who have, as a result of this debacle, decided that they're going to buy this book off of Amazon, and I'm talking about Nigerians from all over the world, which is also one of the things that the federal, the Afenifere Balola group is pushing, that his book be banned, that the court put a ban on his book, on the sale of those books, so it doesn't. Does this, all of this that's playing out in the judiciary and on this matter with Dele, not prove to an extent what he wrote in his book?
Exactly so. Exactly.
But that also makes you and your colleagues complicit, doesn't it?
Completely. It's difficult to understand. A case is coming up, and while that case is not even had yet, you've gone now to High Court in Abuja and obtained an ex parte injunction. Again, all the books should not be sold. Interest coming from the should be seized from him. While the case, you have not even adjudged, you have not even sitting on the first one. Two, the magistrate court, the High Court is still on. Then you've gone again to obtain an ex parte motion on the same matter. Nigerians, when we say what the young man was saying in his book is that our judicial system is questionable. I want to know any living Nigerian who will not accept that as a fact. That the Nigerian system, judicial system here, is questionable.
How did we get here? Because you've done 50 plus years.
Yes.
On the bench or at the bar? Yes. How did we get to this point? Because before, my grandfather was a lawyer, very well known. Yeah. And he would say in his last days that the Nigerian judicial, the lady bar, has one eye open, can see the rich, the poor, can see, and at some point, I think he wasn't also believing anymore in the standards of the judiciary. How did we get to this point? And who could we point to that's responsible for the rot in the judicial system?
Well, where did the rain start beating us? It has not been well with us all along, to say the truth. But it became really obvious when politicians came to the fore. Politics during the first and second republics weren't what you see today. Mm-hmm. But now, when politicians came on board, contention for posts in politics became it's a big business. You make a lot of money from there. So the lawyers must have felt, well, we must take part of the cake.
At what expense?
Well, it's your judgment. Like I would say, it's my judgment. So lawyers needed now to get fat briefs. That's why you have judicial tribunals, election tribunals, these tribunals. You go to tribunal, then you go to High Court. Then, for a simple, they've taken the democratic power in the hands of the populace. They've taken it to some clique within the judiciary and the elite. So it's like what you see in Boko Haram today. Sorry to diverse. The Boko Haram elimination of Boko Haram has become a big business. You are budgeting billions and billions every year for buying ammunition, and yet we're calling death, killing every day, kidnapping every day, and yet we have budgeting billions every day. It's become a big business. Nobody wants to buy anymore. So the lawyers want a big chunk of it, and I would have thought too that the judges might not be completely against having a bit of it.
That's a hefty allegation on the judges.
I said might. I'm very careful with my choice of words. I said, being in Nigeria, the judges are not from heaven, they are Nigerians.
Interesting.
The litigant are Nigerians, the defendant is Nigerian, the person who's putting up, the person are judge, we're all Nigerians. So that's it. So the whole thing becomes a little bit hazy. And I think what that book was saying is no more than saying this thing is not. There's a lot of gray areas in this matter. That's what it's saying, pure and simple.
Well, Lagos, if you're just joining us, the program is Hard Facts, and we have in the studio with us His Royal Highness Oba Oladipo Olaitan. He's the deputy leader of Afenifere, and of course we're talking about Afenifere's demands on Farotimi's defamation trial, and of course the state of the nation, the state of the judiciary, and if it is really still the last hope of the common person. Well, the phone lines will be open in a bit, but when we come back from this break, I want to ask His Royal Highness if there is really hope for the Nigerian judiciary, looking at how, like you said, hazy everything has become. Is there really hope for the judiciary, even the common person? It's 99.3 Nigeria Info. We'll be right back after these messages.
Conversation.
Is it a problem when you can't stop yourself from checking the social media?
So when you let me drop it for you, and discover that you can actually drop it, no problem.
Yes.
Then you're not addicted. You just have this bad habit of always pressing your phone.
Do you know, even though I'm hungry, I'm begging people to please give me something I want to eat. Immediately they give me the money. I will just tell myself playing this game. I want to win for 3,200.
Stay with 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
Millions of listeners trust us on Hard Fact. Whether it's politics, social issues, controversies, and trending stories, you know we're credible and objective.
It's Hard Facts with Marian Okon on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
You are listening to your number one station for talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
Season's greetings from Polaris Bank. We be the digital bank of the year. On top the matter of the board, management and staff of Polaris Bank, we want to say big thank you to all our customers and partners for all our support and patronage. We dey look forward to serving a better for the new year. Don't forget to download Vault for Google Play Store or iOS App Store today. Make banking easy and secure.
Mom, let's celebrate Christmas at its peak. I want Christmas lights so bright they could see it in space. Wow! I want a Christmas tree so tall players would have to watch out.
Think bigger.
Like what?
Pancakes stacked to the ceiling, delicious eggs, and a peak milk smoothie.
Just for me. Now that's Christmas at its peak.
Because truly, a peak Christmas is Christmas with Peak. Peak. Reach for your peak. For Naija, when something dey important, you go stress am. Oh yeah, come now. This one na better. And as Pepsi 60cl long throat bottle don land. Hey, madam, give me big refreshment.
That's one na Pepsi 60cl long throat bottle now.
Yes, oh, Pepsi 60cl long throat bottle na big refreshment, big value, big flex. In fact, this one na all round big things. No dull, go buy your own Pepsi 60cl long throat bottle. Sharp. Pepsi, thirsty for more.
Any platform can help you save. But when it comes to investing, you need a partner that you can trust and is committed to helping you achieve your goals. A partner with a global footprint, diversified investment options, and great returns that help you grow. You need RiseVest. RiseVest is your partner for dollar investments like U.S. stocks, U.S. real estate, fixed income, and Naira Savings Vault. Invest with RiseVest to earn interest between 8 to 15% in dollars and up to 25% in Naira. Download the RiseVest app or visit www.risevest.com to start investing. Rise. Investments that help you grow.
Hey there! Yes, you! You just won 5,000 Naira cash! And you, sitting by the side, there's 1 month Showmax subscription to watch the Premier League waiting for you! You behind! Of course! You're not left out! How does 1,000 Naira airtime and 2,000 Naira Uber discount sound? All this could come true when you buy the No Unwrap and Win pack. Open it, look for a cube with a 6-digit code on its wrapper, text the code to 8011 and follow the prompts to stand a chance to win any of these instant prizes. Promo valid from July till December. Terms and conditions apply. Get extra value on the No Unwrap and Win pack. No, eat for good.
Mommy! Mommy! You want to watch YouTube?
Not my phone again. Every time YouTube.
Oh, mommy! You want to watch YouTube?
You want to watch YouTube? Not with my phone. Go and watch TV.
What? There's no YouTube on our TV.
That's before. With the new Airtel Smart Router, for just 25,000 Naira, you can watch YouTube and more on any TV. Even our own TV.
Really? Yay! Thank you, Mommy.
Oh, you're welcome.
This season, turn any TV into a smart TV with the Airtel Smart Router and watch Nollywood movies, football, and lots more on YouTube with unlimited data for 30 days. Airtel, a reason to imagine.
The perfect Christmas gift should say,
I appreciate you.
I care.
I love you.
This Christmas, let Small Market help you say it all with our ready-made gift hampers and gift cards. Sharing joy is stress-free. Choose from over 20 beautiful hamper varieties or create your own custom hamper with your favorite items. Plus, we are offering you a special gift of amazing discounts across various products from now till January 1st.
Thank you, Small Market.
Visit any Small Market store nationwide to enjoy exciting Christmas offers. Because with Spar, joy comes already wrapped. Terms and conditions apply. Spar Market, there for you.
Everyone says I'm beautiful and bold. They say I'm fashionable. And to crown it up, very confident. And my secret is...
People say I'm good looking, funny, hardworking, and to crown it up, very confident. And my secret is...
So whether in the office or at home,
in the streets or on the dance floor,
anytime, any day, I never lose my confidence. And the secret to my confidence is Wazobia perfume.
Absolutely. Wazobia perfume gives the authenticity and long-lasting fragrance all day. That's my secret confidence.
Wazobia perfume is available in body spray.
Also available in supermarkets and markets near you. Wazobia perfume, the correct scent.
Auntie, you are enjoying, oh? Only you. Peppered rice, amala, nkwobi, masa, cake, and now ice cream. I hope you have Justifies on you.
Justifies? I never leave home without it.
That's right, Justifies, the new natural effervescent powder for an instant refreshing relief from heartburn and stomach indigestion. Just add Justifies into cup of water, drink, and you're good to go. Justifies, your relief on the go. Justifies is from the House of Justide. If symptoms persist after 3 days, consult your doctor. Made and marketed by Ranbaxy Nigeria Limited, a Sun Pharma company.
In the cooking game, you need a winning game plan. I'm not just talking about your fresh ingredients, utensils, or cooking skills. I'm talking about your choice of seasoning. Your game plan is incomplete without Maggi chicken flavor. Made with a flavorful formation of onions, celery, turmeric, it's the game changer. Elevate the taste of your everyday dishes with delicious rich chicken flavor. Oh yeah, let's go.
New Maggi chicken flavor, the game changer.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back.
We are back.
We're back on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
is Hard Facts, 99.3 Nigeria Info. We're broadcasting live from our audiovisual studios right here in Intermission, Crescent, Victoria Island, Lagos. I'm Mary Ann Okonan. This is the Big Hard Facts. We're looking at Afenifere's demands on Farotimi's defamation trial and the state of the nation, the state of the judiciary, and what the future holds for the bar and the bench. My guest is the deputy leader of Afenifere. There are too many questions coming in already for my guest. He's on the hot seat. He didn't even realize that he would be on the hot seat today, but Lagosians are ready for him. His Royal Highness Oba Oladipo Olaitan is the deputy leader of Afenifere, and he's here in the studio with me talking. Before we went on that break, I was going to ask you about what the future is, if there is any real hope out there. Maybe hanging somewhere in the balance for the judiciary, the Nigerian judiciary, because for many pundits, it's gradually going to tatters since after the 2023 elections, and many people have lost hope in it. And with all that's playing out now with the Afeba Balola faction and Dele Farotimi, one would think that we've literally let our judiciary go to the dogs. What do you think, Your Majesty?
No. This can't be the end of all things. The nation, the judiciary is the last hope of the common man, and we must keep it alive.
How? I mean, if it looks like the judiciary it's tearing itself apart from within, how is this going to happen?
How long can they last there? You see, you come to a stage and you play your part and go. Don't forget that the head of any organization is pivotal, is important to that organization. We now have a new person there. Let's give her a chance. Let's give her a chance. You see, the head makes a lot of decisions. Even the body language of the head makes a lot of difference. A straightforward, focused head of the judiciary within months can change everything.
I mean, there's
I say so because I know. So I was this thing. Yes, that's how it works. You can have a bad judge. It's just one person. Unfortunately, you have one bad person in an organization, and it will almost ruin the name and reputation of that organization. Another straightforward person comes in, and it turns it around.
The reason why I'm asking this is because as at today, the Edo State government is challenging the Attorney General after the governor himself suspended duly elected local government chairmen for insubordination. And that's not what the Constitution clearly states. So again, if you have said, like you had said earlier, that politics has crept in and everyone wants a piece of the cake, I mean, what's there to salvage? I mean, because these guys they've been let in, and now they feel like they can have their way at all times, and they're telling the Attorney General that he doesn't have the powers, that the Constitution is overall. But then the Constitution in itself has said that these local government chairmen are elected and they're responsible to the people in their local government. Those are the people they're answerable to, not the governor.
You see, that's exactly what I'm trying to say. When the last governor was there, you didn't hear anything like this. But I don't want to go into personalities, but we're all Nigerians. We all know what happened during electioneering in Edo State. We all know what happened about the incumbent governor. We know all that. And when you put that into perspectives and juxtapose it, you can. It shouldn't be difficult for you to imagine this happening.
Let me go to, we're live on YouTube, Nigeria Info FM. We're live on Facebook, Nigeria Info FM. If you want to join the conversation via Skype, we're Nigeria Info FM. You could join the conversation from outside of the country. If you're listening to us from outside of the country, call us on Skype, Nigeria Info FM. But there's a question here on our YouTube live. Ade Baba says, I understand Farotimi belongs to a faction of Afenifere because another Afenifere group is saying something else in the media. Why do you have two factions?
Well, those who talk about factions now, they have it in their head.
How do you mean?
That's exactly what it is.
Really? Because there are those who would say that there is duly a faction, and some political parties are loyal to one faction and then the others to another faction.
No. If you have a family of 5 children and you have two behaving one way, the other behaving the other. Are there factions in the same family? It's in their head. A family has 4 or 5 children, and 2 believe in one idea, the other believe. So you call that factions in the family?
So you're saying that there are no factions in Afenifere?
Authoritatively.
Really?
I've been more than 40 years in Afenifere, so I know.
Interesting. Well, the phone lines are open, Lagos. We're still talking about this Daily Farotimi situation and the defamation trial. What are your thoughts? My guest is here to answer all your questions. 0201-277-0993. That's the number for you to call if you're male. 0201-277-0993. If you're a lady, call 0201-465-7190. On WhatsApp, it's 08095975-805. 60 seconds is all you have. Go straight to the point, please. Hello.
Yeah, good evening. Hey, Highness, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yeah. What is the body that oversees the judges and lawyers? And this group that Osigwe headed, the MBA, right? And the CJN, they're supposed to checkmate this judge, according to what the Royal Highness is saying. And is it possible for him to sue the police and the judge? Then the CJN, the new, said he's going to do some.
Chris, your line is breaking. I'm so sorry, but I think we got the gist of it. He's asked a few questions.
What is the question?
So he's asking, the guys that's the NJC obviously is asking, do they not have a responsibility in dealing with this issue, being that these 2 people are lawyers? He's also talked about the fact that can't Daily sue the judge or maybe the magistrates in this case and the police. And he's also talking about the new Attorney General, Minister of Justice, saying that she wants to sanitize the judiciary. So, yeah.
Well, you see, justice is slow, but it comes in the end. Whatever Daily has in stock about this matter, it has to take its time. So, we leave that at that. If Daily feels completely unsatisfied about what has happened to him, and I agree with him that he should feel satisfied, but he has to wait for that time to come. He has to come out of jail first and establish that fact and then pursue it. So that's how justice works. There's no premature judgments or premature rulings in justice. So you have to wait for the right time and do the right thing.
Okay. All right. Hello. Welcome to Hard Facts. Apologies. Do call us back if that was you. Hello. Welcome to Hard Facts.
Hi, Miriam.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening, Your Highness.
Good evening.
Is it this same justice system that has been compromised that you are trying to salvage, sir? Because the only thing I understand about our present justice system is the fact that it operates like the animal farm. Only the common man, the wheels of justice will grind fastly on the common man, but on the rich elites, it will grind slowly. With every fiber of my being, Your Highness, I feel this delayed Farotimi's issue is a witch hunt, because if the president wanted to step into it, he would have done that within the twinkling of an eye. The judiciary stinks to high heavens. Everybody knows that. From top to bottom. Ever since the politicians infiltrated the camp of the judiciary, those are the people that are paying the piper, and they are the one calling the shots and dictating the tune, Your Highness. They promote this gross ineptitude we see at these shenanigans that the so-called politicians beat the drums for the justice system to roll with. Let's talk from the elections. Now we practice selection because it is election we are doing, not election. And then this same judiciary will endorse it at the end of the day. See, that's all you can say, Your Highness. You are only trying to be economical with the truth. We know what we know. You know what you know. But we know too well that the winds of justice grind slowly for the poor man.
All right. Thank you, Mrs. Oboli, for calling. Because of time, I'm letting you go. Hello.
Well, to get that
good evening.
Okay. Let's just take this and then you answer, sir.
Good evening, Miriam.
Good evening. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
You have Emmanuel from on the line. I'm speaking to you from Ekwe.
Go ahead, Emmanuel.
It's been very long I had Yoruba that speak like this. You know, our elders these days has been neither, they are from Niger Delta. The Niger Delta is not, an exception. I remember when I was very young, the Afenifere that I know, the elders that I know. But my question now is, because everything today is about Afe Babalola. Kabiyesi sir, if you were in the shoe of Afe Babalola, how would you have approached this case? That is my question, sir.
All right, thank you very much. So we'll start with Mrs. Oboli and then him.
Mrs. Oboli, thank you so much. I'm in your shoes. We are in the same shoes. I'm not defending the judiciary at all. I was going to say you are not that Dele. It's a pity that they have not arrested you. Dele have not said anything more than what you have said. Dele said exactly the feeling of Nigerians about the judiciary. All of us should be in court. We should be facing trial now. I'm not with them at all. We are in a mess. We're in a total mess. We're in problem. We're really in problem. I don't want to go into particulars. And we're in this country. We see the judgments they give. I'm a lawyer, and you read some of the judgments and you wonder, where is this one coming from? For Christ's sake, where is this one coming from? But that will not be the end of this country. That will not be the end of judiciary. That's what I'm saying. By the grace of God, hope will come. There's hope. But at the moment, we're in soup.
Okay. The last caller was talking about the fact that it's.
What would I have done if I were?
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank Papa with tremendous respect to him. I thank him so much for helping us to put this into limelight. He's helping us. He's helping Nigerians, as a matter of fact, and it's good for him. Nigerians would not have been able to voice out all this they know about this matter if you had not made this complaint. But what I expect him to do now, at this point in time, is to say, thank you very much, I've done my bit. Withdraw the matter and let everybody go. He's done a marvelous job in the sense that he has put this matter on the front burner. All the judges at the Supreme Court or wherever they may be, they will think twice now before they do a few things. But everywhere, all the magistrates, we all see conflicting judgments by courts at the same level. We all hear it. This is completely unacceptable. And Papa Babala knows this himself. And all Dele has said is, this is what is happening. Ask any Nigerian on the street, he will tell you this is what is happening. And this is what Dele has done. You are punishing this man now for telling Nigerians what Nigerians know.
Interesting.
If Dele is culpable, if Dele is going to jail for this, Nigerians should go for jail for it.
Someone here on our YouTube live is saying, Farotimi is claiming to be a leader. Padebandro is also claiming to be a leader. So how is it not a faction?
Yes. Thank you so much. I'm the deputy leader of Afenifere, and I know that there's only one Afenifere.
Who's the leader of Afenifere?
The leader of Afenifere is Papa Ayo Adebanjo. You see, this is the people don't generally understand this, and they need to know. We have an apostolic system of governance in Afenifere. Yes. We don't contest, we don't vote. Nobody voted for me to be deputy leader. Nobody voted for Adebanjo to be deputy leader. Nobody voted for Papa Fashanti to be deputy leader. When Papa Fashanti, more than one or two occasions, he felt he was about 90 years of age at that time. And he said, look, he called all of us and said, look, I'm tired. I can't handle this matter anymore. So please, Ayo, take over. It's not by contest. It's not a contest. People outside don't understand this. We are one family. And that's how it works. And he said, Dipo, that's me. You be the deputy. Nobody voted for me.
So why is he still claiming to be the leader of the party and speaking in a different light?
Afenifere has layers of leaders. They have layers. There's so many leaders around in our Afenifere. So many leaders. But one becomes a spokesman for the organization.
I see.
That's how it is. So do you see some people out of mischief? We want to see this. You have two children of the same father. One is more vocal than the other. They say, "Oh yeah, this is the leader." And I say this all the time. You have a family, and you have just two kids, right? And the father comes home after a long trip, and he brings just one toy. Immediately he comes to this one say, I'm the darling of the father. This one says I'm the darling, just because there's only one toy. But both of them are darlings of the father.
You can both play with the toy.
Yeah, the purpose. So we are one and the same organization. This is the oldest political organization in Nigeria today. We are more than 71 years old.
I see.
We all went to the same school. We all dined in the same school. Baba Fashion is Awolowo school. Badebanjo is Awolowo school. All of us are from... the only way you can say a fashion is somebody says, my source is not from Awolowo. As long as the source is from Awolowo, we are only one group.
Okay. All right. This one says, good evening, presenter. Just a quick one. The same CJN happened to be brought in the fourth person in the... Okay, I'm sure you mean brought in by the fourth person in the election as number one. So how come your guest is saying the head is important? The head of the judiciary is rotten. Therefore, I'm not in support of this. Nigeria's judiciary is in a deep mess. And this is from Timmy. Femi here says...
That's another daily Farotimi talking.
Femi here says, Femi from Dallas, Texas says, a country where the wife of a politician is an appeal court judge and several wives of senators also, what do you expect? He says it's a failed nation. I don't agree, but what do you think, sir?
We are all Nigerians. They're all giving their judgments like Delhi has done.
Someone is saying that you're dancing around the truth. That why are you finding it difficult to say the truth it is?
What is the truth? What is the truth? The truth is that the Nigerian legal system is rotten.
Okay. All right, let's go back to the phone lines.
Completely rotten, yes.
Okay. Hello, welcome to Hard Facts. Sorry about that. Do call me back. 0201-277-0993 is the number for you to call if you're male. If you're a female, 0201-465-7190. 60 seconds. Go straight to the point. Hello.
Yeah. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yes, sir. Okay, my question is...
what's your name and where are you calling from?
Okay, all right. This is Gochiku calling you from Akaribo Road in Shaga.
All right.
Okay, my question to Kabiyesi is, why is it that all those judges, they usually give conflicting judgment? Yes. Yeah, why? Because this is the right course to judge, to judgment. I mean, if you understand what why is it that they give conflicting judgment? That's just my question.
Thank you very much for calling, Ugochukwu.
Part of the things we are complaining about in the system. Yes. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be at all. It shouldn't be. And that's exactly what Delia said, and everybody wants to. About things, it shouldn't say so.
Interesting. I'll take one last call and then we'll take a few more of your messages. Don't forget we're live on Facebook and live on YouTube, Nigeria Info FM. We're still talking about Dele Farotimi's defamation trial and the state of the nation. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good evening, Marianne. My name is Obo. I'm calling from Alagbado.
Go ahead.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
My issue is that those things. I think even the bar, they need to pause themselves, because if you see what is going on, all those politicians and all those people we are accusing, they are not the one moving this money to the judges by themselves. They are still use all those lawyers and every other person. So let the bar too, let them pause themselves. Thank you.
Okay.
I agree with you, but say it and don't. I hope they don't come after.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to Hard Facts.
Good evening, Mary Ann.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, my question is, Dele Farotimi.
Yes.
Yes, sir. He's a legal luminary.
Yes.
He's a barrister. if you see in the other colleagues, they love themselves so much. Why is it that now that Farotimi has said the truth and the co-lawyers need a pound of flesh from him and nobody is talking? Please, sir. I'm not happy. Gives me great pain. Nobody except non-judges, non-indigenous are the one, fighting this battle with Farotimi. Why is it like that, sir? Thank you.
Thank you, Zoma, for calling.
Traditionally, the legal system is a very conservative system. You don't really talk too much in the system. Let me give that to them. But it is not true that he has been abandoned. In Ekiti, there are scores and scores of lawyers standing up for him. And as we speak, there's a large number of lawyers who are waiting to help him throughout this case. But traditionally, lawyers really don't talk. They don't really, traditionally. Let's give them that. Traditionally. That's why you see them wearing dark clothes all the time. It's a symbol of that. If you don't see lawyers advertising their trade. It's the system. But it is not true that lawyers have abandoned him. They have not abandoned him.
Okay. Well, we're going to go on a short break before we let His Highness leave the studio. In case you're just joining us, we're still talking about Dele Farotimi's defamation trial. His Royal Highness Oba Oladipo Olaitan, the deputy leader of Afenifere, is still here with us in the studio. We'll be right back after these messages and then we'll be wrapping things up. Stay with us.
There's a reason why over 1 million people tune into Hard Facts every day. We discuss in-depth stories with sources behind the facts. The Lagos State High Court sitting
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk. 99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook.